Have you ever spent hours, I mean hours, crafting the absolute perfect email, only for it to look like a complete train wreck in someone's inbox? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest headaches in email marketing, rendering issues. We'll break down exactly why they happen and, more importantly, how you can fix them for good.
Let's just start with this because it probably hits a little too close to home. You design this beautiful campaign, you hit send, you're feeling great, and then you get that reply. A screenshot from a user showing your masterpiece looking like a jumbled, broken mess. Ugh.
It's just so frustrating, isn't it? That sinking feeling when you realize your carefully crafted message is not being seen the way you intended at all. But hey, you are definitely not alone. This is a super common problem for pretty much every email marketer out there. And you know, this whole broken email feeling, it's not just about aesthetics. We're talking about what are called email rendering issues, and they can do some real damage. We're talking about hurting your brand's image, creating a bad user experience, and totally tanking your conversion rates.
So if we're going to fix this thing, we first have to understand why it happens in the first place. Let's get under the hood and look at the real root causes of why that perfect email can look so wildly different from one inbox to the next.
The core concept we're dealing with here is something called email rendering. Now that sounds technical, but all it means is how your email gets displayed visually. But here's the catch. Every single email client, we're talking Gmail, Outlook, Apple Mail, and every device has its own unique way of reading and showing your email's code.
And this slide really paints the picture of the chaos, right? Think of each email client having its own rendering engine. It's almost like they're all speaking a slightly different dialect of the same language. So what looks absolutely perfect in Gmail might just completely fall apart in Outlook. Then you throw in all the different screen sizes, fonts that don't always work, and images that aren't scaling right, and yeah, you've got a recipe for disaster. So how on earth are you supposed to navigate this super complex world without becoming a coding expert for like a dozen different email clients? Well, this is exactly where platforms like Mailmodo come in. They're designed specifically to handle all this complexity for you. And this is probably the most important part. You do not have to get lost in lines and lines of code to solve this. Modern tools like Mailmodo are built to streamline this whole process, making pixel-perfect emails something that everyone can achieve, not just the developers. Okay, let's dive into the actual solution. The key here is to adopt a really simple but super powerful framework, the identify, fix, and test cycle. Trust me, this cycle is your roadmap to getting it right every single time. It's a really logical flow, right? First, you have to see the problem exactly how your users see it. Then, you apply a targeted fix to that specific issue. And finally, and this is crucial, you test everything rigorously to make sure your fix actually worked and didn't accidentally break something else.
So step one is all about visibility. I mean, you can't fix what you can't see. Inside Mailmodo, the preview tool is going to be your absolute best friend. It lets you instantly see how your email is going to look on both desktop and mobile. And you can check both the standard HTML version and the interactive AMP version, which is what lets you do cool things like put forms and carousels right inside the email. Now, this slide shows a classic rendering issue. Over on the left, you see a layout that probably looked great on a big desktop screen, but on mobile, it's a complete mess with images overlapping and text all over the place. On the right, that's our goal, a clean single-column stack that's super easy to read on any phone. So how do you get from that before to the beautiful after? Well, in Mailmodo's editor, it's not about writing code. You literally just select the image, you set its width to full width, and for those column layouts, you just flip a switch for the display stacking option. The platform handles all the tricky responsive code for you in the background. Okay, let's tackle another common problem. Let's say you've used AMP for email to add something really cool and interactive, like a form or a product carousel. But for some of your users, it just doesn't show up. They just see a plain, static fallback email instead. Luckily, the fix for this is usually pretty straightforward because Mailmodo has these built-in guardrails. You just need to check a couple of things in your settings. First, is your sender domain approved for AMP? And second, is your total email size under the 200 kilobyte limit that clients like Gmail require? Mailmodo takes care of all the complicated AMP syntax for you. Now, once you have applied your fixes, you absolutely have to complete the cycle. The final step is testing. This is what ensures that your changes actually work across all the major email clients, and just as importantly, that you haven't introduced any new, unexpected problems. And this is a huge advantage for your workflow. Instead of having to jump between a design tool, maybe a coding tool, and then a separate testing service, you can do it all in one platform. You design, preview, send a test, make a quick fix, and retest, all in seconds. It's just a much faster and more efficient way to work.
So let's talk about the end game here. When you really nail this process, the result isn't just a prettier email, it's a much more effective one. The payoff is huge. Your brand looks professional and consistent no matter where someone opens your email. Your engagement metrics, like clicks and conversions, go up because your buttons are always visible and easy to tap. And most importantly, you're giving your audience a smooth, seamless experience. It's all about removing friction and building that trust.
You know, what this all really boils down to is that you can finally move past that anxiety of hitting the send button. No more crossing your fingers and just hoping for the best. You can start sending every single campaign with total confidence, knowing exactly what your audience is going to see. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start sending emails that just work, you should definitely check out Mailmodo to fix your rendering issues. It's the AI email marketing platform that's trusted by top brands. You can try it out for free or book a demo to see it all in action over at mailmodo.com. Thanks so much for watching this explainer.